Hello and happy Sunday. Welcome to our garden, chicken and for me house update, and in this case, studio update. Though it's not my studio. So over the Christmas period, my wife and I have been working on her art shed. This is a shed that you can see behind me, built mainly from utility grade wood, some salvaged wood, salvaged metal panels for the roof, salvage door, salvage windows, a lot of salvage. Also some fresh material. So the plywood is utility grade plywood, which is plywood that hasn't met the specifications to be sold for construction purposes, but it's good enough for this kind of construction. It wouldn't meet building regs for certain things. But the way we've built this, we've actually used 2 layers of plywood, one inside and one outside, to make sure this is a good, sturdy building. It's also pinned to its concrete foundation. This is one hell of a shed. But over Christmas and over the winter period, we have been tiling. Yes. Just pop you down a little so you can see the excitement of my very messy tiling. Actually, I'm quite reasonable at the end result, but the process for me, always a little bit messy. So that is really cool, because you may not care that my wife gets an art studio, but I care very much. It's a space for her to create where she can be as messy as she wants. She can leave stuff out. She doesn't have to worry about it, which is kind of the equivalent to what I have in the garage. But the exciting thing about this being so near complete is that I obviously have had out the tools. We've kept out a bunch of tiles that we had leftovers from. We kept out the tiling tools, and once this is finished, we can put all that up in the attic, and that frees up some space in the garage. So that's super exciting, because it means that in theory I should be able to get back to doing some stuff with Rebecca, although Rebecca costs money, and money is hard to come by these days. So I'm super excited about that. I'm also super excited about our solar. So we had our solar turned on a couple of weeks before Christmas, I think, and it has already generated about 18 kilowatt hours that have gone back to the grid, in addition to generating some power for our house. We haven't yet been able to work out our level of energy independence because there is something wrong in the setup. We're waiting for the company to get back to us to fix it, and they are talking to Enphase in turn, because it looks like a current clamp is in the wrong place. What we're seeing is that when our solar kicks in, our energy usage on the Enphase side looks like it has gone up by exactly the same amount as the solar is generating, which is obviously not right. So our energy usage will be flat, solar kicks in and it increases by exactly the amount the solar is generating. So it sounds to me like a current clamp is in the wrong place, but they are talking to Enphase to work out what's going wrong before they send out an engineer. And obviously Christmas, New Year in the way, so no one's been out to look at it yet. But the side that we get in terms of billing, that is completely separate from the Enphase system, and that is reporting that we've sent back 18 kilowatt hours, which is awesome. Obviously that's we've used more than that. Just in the daytime it sends back the 18. Let's see what else is exciting. The other exciting news about the chickens. So 2 of them have laid all the way through Christmas, and of course I looked over there at Thelma and Louise and one of them pooed, so that was perfect timing. The flock still seems to be pretty happy. Astrid and Pippi, so Astrid is a Jersey Giant and Pippi is a Swedish flower hen. Those are heritage breeds, and the sun isn't up for as long, and so they don't lay during this point in the year, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. It's really not a problem. We have Thelma and Louise, who are both ISA Browns, which is a modern commercial chicken. We didn't intend to, we actually don't mind. We have some really good local farmers and we can get eggs from chickens that we're pretty sure are well looked after. So we don't mind buying eggs through the winter. But Thelma and Louise, they have solidly laid pretty much every day, which Probably doesn't bode well for their long-term lifespan, but it has been nice having eggs. I would not recommend buying modern battery farming chickens for a breed. I prefer something that's going to have a long-term healthy life. But these came from a friend, and so they were looking for a home, and so they're ours. So yes, we're also approaching the time of year when we get our trees trimmed. So these are wild plums behind me now. They were in front of me, but now they're behind me. There's a weird little umbrella tree over there, which is in kind of the area that we let the chickens roam in. So we are just waiting for our arborist to get back to us. He will let us know when he's got time, and he will come and do these, and we've got some trees out front. We like to get them trimmed at this point in the year. It's unusual. We have had snow this year. In fact, we've had miserable weather this year. We've had an ice storm, which I've never experienced before and don't hugely want to experience again. But later in the year, just kind of early spring, we tend to get snow, and the trees, as you can see, these trees are wild plums that were just allowed to grow, and they will not tolerate having huge amounts of weight. So we gave them a haircut in the winter, and then when it snows, hopefully they don't catch quite so much snow. We did that to our tree at the front. The first year we were here, we've done it every year, and they're all looking so much healthier now. So having someone who knows what they're doing with that is really great, because we don't know how to. Well, I mean, I know how to cut a tree, but I don't know what I need to do to keep it really healthy. So we let someone who's a specialist do that. And that kind of ties in with our Sunday musing, a little hint. And that's kind of the main things. The rest of the garden is chaos. The chickens are currently transferring the soil from the beds onto the grass, which is what they do. We have multiple beds where they've just kicked the dirt out. They've pretty much destroyed our strawberry bed, which is our fault. We did not fence it off. We did not fence it off from them. So yeah, they've made good headway on removing all of our strawberries. So we probably should fence it off. And yet they've made very poor headway on removing our parsley, which is funny because last year they kind of dug the whole lot up. So we might actually have to dig over some beds, or no dig them if we've got enough cardboard. So yeah, and then coming up soon we'll be pruning these. So these are our raspberry canes. I think I said I was going to prune them last time in the winter, and it's still not quite time. I'm really very keen to prune these back because they're very much in the way. But it's meant to be late winter that you prune back raspberry canes, so not yet. I keep saying, I keep coming out here and being like, it must be time. It's not time. So that's pretty much it. By the time you've seen this, there will have been a live stream, if everything has gone well, with my newest acquisition, which is kind of a toy for one of my other projects. It's not really a toy, it's a tool. It's kind of a tool, sort of. So check that out on the channel if you haven't. It'll be on take 2 like this. And yeah, hopefully that's kind of all the exciting news. Let me know what you've been up to. I know that Christmas can be a bit of a tough time for some people. And I know that the holiday season is not always what people hope it will be. So I hope yours was, but if it wasn't, you know, I hope that this year brings you more of what you need. And that's kind of it. Let us know what's been going on with your life in the comments below. And on that note, we are done for today. If you liked it, you know what to do. And feel free to tip us with a super thanks. The comments below are open for your thoughts, as is our Discord chat room, which is also open and filled with great people, so you can pop in and have a chat. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow the links below to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links below to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin, and our swag store. And check us out on Mastodon. We have our very own server. scrolling by on my right, which I would gesture to, but I'm holding a camera and a phone, is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and our shout outs go out to our self-driving tier supporters: Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarski, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Muro Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tesla in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Kyle Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Ray Jean Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Centre and Jim Burness. Finally, out of this world, thanks to our Starman supporters: Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Boroughbridge, Dave Kitchen, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnick, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Grayland, and of course, Ian. We will be back soon with more videos, but until then, keep evolving.